What's going on, Lions fans and Michigan State fans? I want to kind of take a little bit of a moment to kind of talk about the Michigan and Michigan State game here. I apologize for not having any video up here for the last week here. Just kind of life's kind of just getting in the way here, and you guys know how all that goes with the coronavirus stuff going on. I hope everyone's doing well with that, as well as kind of making sure they keep their social distancing and their masks on and all that. I know it's some people don't believe in the masks and all that, but that's another story for another time. I'm going to first start out here and do the Michigan and Michigan State, kind of my thoughts on here, and then I'm going to go ahead and talk about Lions and the Colts, which are coming up in just a couple of hours today. But I got, first of all, and I'll go back through the video and I'll do the time stamping for you guys if you guys want to go ahead and kind of the specific part of the video that you guys kind of want to watch here. So usually I'll probably do this. I'll record it and then I'll come right here on my computer, which, see, I got two screens up here. It's just more or less for work since I'm working at home and all that. So, but anyway, I'm starting to jibber jabber here and I kind of want to get into the video here. So with that being said, yesterday, Michigan State, big win for Mel Tucker. Actually, it was to me, it was a kind of a tale of two teams here, kind of doing kind of a little bit of a flip-flop here. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee here. And pretty much what I mean by that is Michigan kind of looked good against Minnesota, and then they kind of fell flat against Michigan State, which, being a Michigan fan and being with Jim Harbaugh and how his coaching style is and all that, which I'll get into in just a little bit here, I thought would have been a letdown here, kind of seeing how Michigan State was last week with getting kind of railroaded by Rutgers, which I kind of thought was real surprising. But with the 7 turnovers they had last week, I think it was 7 turnovers, you're not going to win a game when you do 7 turnovers. That's just kind of the way it is. But kind of going into this game here, I thought Michigan was kind of going to blow them out. I thought Michigan State was not prepared under Mel Tucker. I thought that D'Antonio's his fingerprints were still all over the program, despite what happened in East Lansing, transpired over the year, 2 years kind of coming into this. I thought the program was in shambles, let me put it that way. They come into Ann Arbor yesterday, which today's Sunday, so it's been yesterday, and they looked like a totally different team. Michigan State looked prepared. They looked like, hey, we can stop this Michigan offense, which they did, which kind of, I'll get into the Michigan part of it here a little bit. I thought White did a great job. He got Gray, I think, got burnt quite a bit on the defensive side of the ball. I think he eventually got pulled, and then it kind of just went from there. Michigan State kind of seemed to control the tempo of the game just a little bit more than what Michigan did yesterday. For Mel Tucker, it's a kind of a big win for his program. If you guys looked on Twitter last week, a lot of Colorado fans were they were kind of laughing. They were like, hey, the Colorado Buffaloes send their regards to East Lansing, which I don't know if you kind of know that kind of pun. It's a Game of Thrones kind of statement that people put out there to be like, hey, you guys kind of messed up, kind of that sort of thing. But anyway, White played a great game. I think he had, goodness, I haven't even looked at the stats yet or anything, but I know he had a pretty good game. Lombardi kind of seemed to be under control, much more than what Milton was. The defense for Michigan State, they kind of had a plan in place to kind of get them together. I don't think Michigan ever kind of went 40 yards either way, excuse me, without having any kind of penalty to help Michigan on the offensive side of the ball. And to speak into that, I thought Milton Milton's a young quarterback. I know a lot of people out there were kind of saying that this Michigan kind of football and Jim Harbaugh is really to the point of, you know what his style is. And I really would have thought Harbaugh would have helped out Milton here a little bit. Milton was off with his throws. There were times that he was not confident in his throws. I thought there were times where he should have tucked the ball and ran, being the mobile quarterback that he is, or the mobile quarterback we all said that he was. The media's kind of told us that. It just wasn't a real good game for Michigan. I mean, they seemed to be off kilter. They kind of came into the game, I kind of thought, and said, hey, we're just going to run all over this Michigan State team based on what we've seen last week. I kind of think that kind of crept into their minds here a little bit. And then when it came down to being crunch time, they couldn't get anything done. I kind of look at it back to Michigan and the Army game. I think I want to say last year, where Army really couldn't do really anything but run the football, and kind of when it came down to passing the football, they just couldn't do it. I kind of put it as that game kind of last year, but I was real upset yesterday with. I kind of blame the loss on Harbaugh and the coaches here. Don Brown just does not kind of want to seem to kind of alter his scheme at all. And I agree with a lot of other YouTubers on here, and maybe some of the pundits that kind of do some writing for the AP and for the Detroit Free Press, the Detroit news outlets and the Grand Rapids outlets, which are pretty much kind of how I get all my information on here. I agree with those guys. Don Brown just does not. I just don't. It comes across as he doesn't alter his plan at all. Now, I don't know if he actually does, but kind of watching the football game, it just doesn't seem that he wants to alter the ball. And that's kind of really the biggest criticism I have of this Michigan coaching staff, is they kind of want to dig their head in the sand and not alter kind of really anything. Now, the offensive side of the ball, I think, is a little bit better on adjusting schemes and altering to what the defense gives them. But on the defensive side of the ball, it's kind of just, I'm going to do it my way and we're going to get it done my way. And it doesn't always work that way. You have to you have to really alter kind of what the offense is that's giving you. And Michigan State kind of altered their offense just enough to where Michigan still tried to do their thing and they never could get it done. They kind of just, at points, they kind of marched right on down the field. But yeah, Mel Tucker, being as bad as what Michigan State looked last week against Rutgers, they were a totally different team yesterday. I want to say today, but it was actually yesterday. Michigan was quite the opposite. I mean, they played against that Minnesota team, which Minnesota's 0-2 now. They lost to Maryland. And now they kind of look like kind of the reverse of kind of what they did. But Milton is a young quarterback. I want to put that kind of the asterisk out there. And I'm not kind of taking Michigan off the hook here, because I'm a big Michigan fan. I'm a much bigger Michigan fan than I am a Michigan State fan. But being 43 years old now, it just doesn't matter anymore to what team does what. Even though I was very upset, the coaching staff has to help Milton out here. When they see him overthrowing passes and maybe running when he probably really should have passed, tuck the ball and run, the coaching staff kind of needs to take him in and be like, look, dude, you really probably should have ran the ball on this play, or you should have put a little bit of touch on the ball on this play. He's no Justin Fields, let's put it that way, for Ohio State. He's nowhere near that point yet, but I think he can be if you kind of take him under the wing a little bit and kind of show him more. You don't have to yell at the kid or anything like that. Just show him, like, look, you really should have ran the ball here, or look, if you put a little touch on the ball here, it would have been a completed pass. Because there was a lot of times Milton just kind of chucked the ball, and it was just kind of a flat, kind of a curve kind of going off, and it missed his wide receiver 10 to 15 yards at times. So I think if the coaching staff and the quarterback's coach works with him, and it may not take, this season may be a wash for kind of Michigan here too. Let's not put that out of the realm of possibilities here too. With a young quarterback that they've got here, they have to really take him under the wing, show him, teach him, all that sort of stuff. And Michigan will probably end up being hopefully a better football team at the end of the year, which I don't think they're going to win against Ohio State. Ohio State's just that's the level that the Big Ten's at, and everyone else is just kind of fighting for whichever place they're in. But you really hopefully we see enough improvement with the Michigan offense that coming into next season, it's a good thing coming into next season. But that's kind of where I'm at with this, with the Michigan and Michigan State football game, guys. You really had the tale of two teams here, and they kind of flip-flopped here. We're just going to go ahead and have to see how Michigan kind of does against Indiana next week, and Michigan State to kind of see if they can keep that momentum against Iowa next week. So I'm done with college football here, at least for now. Now I'm going to kind of turn to the Lions and the Colts, which I think, goodness, I'm still on college football in my head here. I think the Lions really have a good shot of winning against the Colts. I don't really know a whole lot about Indianapolis, how good they are, how bad they are, what their weaknesses or what their strengths are. But kind of based on what I'm seeing with the Detroit Lions. Now, you got to say the Detroit Lions are 3-3, all right? They kind of looked a little bit bad here at the beginning of the season, but they kind of seem to I don't want to say kind of come together or gelling here a little bit. And maybe it's maybe kind of a light bulb went off to be like, oh, now I'm starting to understand what's kind of going on here. The light bulb seemed to have went off with this team. Now, some of the teams are low, I'll admit that, and they win against, and the Lions kind of seem to, at least this season, kind of thrive against those teams. But we've only kind of went through, we're 6 games now. We're almost halfway through the season. We're 3-3, which we're in a pretty good position on here. I honestly do. I like Detroit here in this game. Now, some of the Indianapolis Colts fans are going to be like, Eric, you really don't know what you're talking about. You haven't watched any of the Colts games, which I haven't. I haven't watched any Indianapolis games, so I don't know like I said, what their strengths or their weaknesses are. But based on what I see, I like Detroit. I like Detroit in this game. I think they're 4-3. Just kind of building on the wins that they've got. That's the key. You have to build on the wins they got, build on your strengths, and if something's there, like when Stafford kind of took off there for that, goodness, I want to say that, I think it was like a 15 or 20-yard run there. That's kind of the things to keep the defense kind of guessing here. We got to kind of, it's really kind of simple football if you kind of really look at it. You really just have to mix the run and the pass, keep the defense guessing about what you're going to do here. And maybe on the occasional one, if Stafford sees a lane of 5 to 10 yards, take it. Take that 5 to 10 yards, slide, and you got maybe a first down out of it here. You just kind of got to play what the defense gives you today. I like Detroit on this one. I think we're 4-3 coming into next week's game here. I can't remember who next week's game's here. I would have to look it up here on the computer. I wish I was a little bit more prepared here. But I like it. I like it. I don't know how good, I want to say Andrew Luck, but Andrew Luck isn't there anymore. Rivers is going to look with the Colts offense. I don't know how the Colts defense looks. It's just kind of just going off my own gut feeling on how the Lions look. That's really what it is here. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and kind of end it here, guys. But let me know what your guys' thoughts, your criticisms, if you got anything, go ahead and put it right down into the comments area. I kind of look at everyone's comments. I try to look at the comments and try to respond back here. Yeah, it's been kind of a crazy year for sports in general here. And now that you're seeing the team starting to get into the groove, especially on the pro football front, I like Detroit's chances here. Maybe just, not for the long term, but at least for this game coming up here, guys. Yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments area. Do you like it? What do you thought of the Michigan State game? I was kind of really upset when it initially happened, but now they kind of taken a step back and kind of looked about what it kind of is kind of going on here. Milton just kind of needs help. And it looks like, at least right now, the coaching staff did not help him in adjusting to his throws and maybe to run when he should have not passed the ball some. And kind of putting a little bit of touch on the football would help here too. But that'll probably come as the season progresses along, guys. All right, I'm starting to jibber jabber again here, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And I really do hope to see you guys again soon. Deuces. Take care, guys.